Hey guys, it's Bella, the Maker Mama Boss Lady behind Bella's Custom Crochets, and welcome to episode 12, I think, of my podcast. If you are new here, thank you for coming. You are most welcome. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. I'm going to link everything that you need to know about me down below, and anything I talk about as well, down below the video in the description box, so you can find all the information as far as my website, Instagram, and all of that there. And yeah, I have a bunch to show. It's been a week or two extra from what I normally record, so I think I have quite a bit to talk about, so we'll get right down to that. I do want to say, I guess admin-wise, I don't know if it's admin or not. People say admin, so that's what we're going to call it, but I am working, I don't know if you can tell or not, with a new lighting setup. So I'm recording at night, and that's usually when I record because my daughter goes to bed, and it's the best for me. So I got a light kit, and I only sort of kind of know what I'm doing with it. So I feel like the lighting looks better. It might not. Let me know what you think in the comments, I guess. But the next few episodes might be kind of varied on lighting and setup, just as we're trying to figure this out. And I think I'm also going to try doing some more cuts, and by me, I mean JoJo's going to do them, because I don't edit these videos. But yeah, I'm going to just try and mix it up a little bit. I'm still early on in this podcast thing, and I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing. Did anybody think I knew what I was doing? No, probably not. So, that's my spiel. Thanks for coming. Here we go. I guess in a continuation maybe of admin, there is a couple things that I did want to bring to your attention that I'm not necessarily going to talk about in detail here. But if you go into the description box below, I am going to link these things for you if you are interested in them as resources or helping me build future resources, I guess. First off, I wanted to let you guys know that I'm trying to compile a list of what I'm calling crochet-friendly dyers. I need to come up with a better name for it because that sounds like some dyers hate crocheters, and I don't think that's the case. If you know those dyers, don't send them to me. But I'm putting a link to a Google form down below. I'm just looking for some info on crochet-friendly being dyers who are featuring crochet either in samples or finished objects, which I guess would be samples, or swatches in their shops, Instagrams, websites, etc. Because I think probably as crocheters, I mean, I do both, but mainly a crocheter, obviously, if I didn't say that. This is a mostly crochet podcast with a little bit of knitting in there and a lot of rambling. But I am looking specifically for dyers who market to crocheters. It doesn't have to be exclusively crocheters, but prioritize crocheters somewhere in their photos or booths or whatever they got. Because a lot of times I find that dyers are either started out as knitters, so they have a knitting perspective, or they feature just like knit swatches or knit shawls, knit garments in their booths or shops or Instagrams or websites or whatever it is that you're finding the yarn from them. And it can be frustrating because you're like, yeah, I work with the same yarn, but it's going to knit up different than it crochets. Especially yarns that have long strands of color. Sometimes I'm like, is that going to pool weird? So it's very helpful for dyers to have crochet samples of some kind. Even if it's just a little 4x4 swatch or a granny square, it makes a huge difference, especially in shopping online, because it lets me visualize what the yarn is going to look like. And I know that's something that's been very frustrating for me. So I'm looking to put together I don't know if you want to call it a roundup or some sort of resource, probably in a spreadsheet, blog post, and I might do a video as well, depending on how many responses I get. But I think I have about 15 or so people that you folks have recommended to me over through Instagram, but I'm going to drop the link here as well, just in case you want to go and add. I think I asked for the name of the dyer and then their Instagram and website, or wherever it is that you're getting their yarn, and what makes them crochet friendly. And I got a couple people who responded off of Instagram who were like, so-and-so's crochet friendly, they really love crocheters when they buy their yarn. And I don't mean that at all. Again, this isn't dyers who aren't hateful towards crocheters. I'm sure they all want everyone to buy their yarn, because one, they're a business, and two, fibers for everybody, y'all. But yeah, swatches, samples, visual representation of crochet somewhere in their brand. Again, doesn't have to be exclusively crochet. If they have knit, Tunisian, weavings, whatever, that's all fabulous. The yarn is for everyone. So I just wanted to let you know that I was out there. I don't know when I'm going to be putting that together, because it might take me a little bit to figure out what I'm doing with that list, but I know that I want to gather that up, and I have a crochet along or maybe a make along in mind for that as well. But I need to get all that info rounded up first. So go drop those down below if you have suggestions. I'd love to know. Another, I guess, list that I put together that would, I think, be a really good resource for the community. I'm not going to talk about it in super depth here, but I think last week or so, in light of all the conversation that has been going on regarding race and representation and all of that, particularly just in the fiber arts community. I know this has been an ongoing thing for several years. I feel like it's been more present in the knit community, just in my experience, especially on Instagram. I feel like the knitters are pretty on the case about everything, and I haven't seen it talked about as much in the crochet realm. And I had posted a little while back, and a couple people had said, wow, I didn't know of any Black crocheters besides Tony. Or I think somebody said Jonah, of Jonah's Hands. Like, I didn't know they were out there. And yeah, they are. So I have a whole long blog post on it, so I'm not going to go on here. If you want to know more about my heart on the matter, you can jump over to the blog post and read it. But I put together a blog post that's featuring, I believe it was 11 of my favorite Black crochet designers, because again, trying to focus on the crochet as always. But there's also a downloadable free download spreadsheet of over 80 over 80 Black fiber artists. So crocheters, knitters, a couple of spinners, lots of pattern designers for both knit and crochet, shop owners, amigurumi sellers, I guess, amigurumi shops. What else am I missing? YouTubers, bloggers, like so much talent in our community that I wanted you guys to be aware of. And was trying to be really intentional about getting that all in one spot for you. I know a lot of people have been doing Instagram stories or highlights, putting it in a highlight in their Instagram, or I know there's a couple of websites that work as like directories as well. But I was just personally having a really hard time going through that information, because if you're like looking to follow accounts from an Instagram story highlight, you have to go into the highlight on somebody's profile, then you have to click whatever they link to, and then you have to be like, oh, here's their shop, here's their blog, and then go through it, and then you got to go back to that highlight. Unless I'm missing something, there's not a really good way to go through. So I put all the information on a spreadsheet, and it's got marked off like so-and-so is a knitter and a designer and has a blog, and then I have a little blurb about why I love that shop or designer or aesthetic or whatever. So if you think that would be helpful to you, put it out there. I'll put the link to that down below as well. And the more love in our fiber community, the better. A lot of the people I've talked about on here before, and I will continue to talk about, because again, fiber is for everybody, and I'm glad that our community is as beautiful and diverse as it is. I think that wraps up the admin-y bits. Let's get on to the actual crocheting. For finished objects, I have, what do I have? I'm looking at my notes. Anytime that I'm looking down at my knees, it's because my notes are down there. Finished objects, not a lot to show. The Crojo, I don't think I'm ever lacking in, people say Knit Mojo or Crojo for Crochet Mojo, I guess. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but I don't think I'm lacking in that. I never really other than the first couple weeks when I was pregnant with my daughter, there hasn't ever really been a time in the last 10, 12 years where I haven't really wanted to crochet. But the last several months of the beast that has been 2020, there has been a great lack of crochet focus. So I want to crochet, and then I forget how to do things that I know how to do. Or I forget how to count. Or I do something and I'm like, what are you doing? Now we have to undo all of that work. Particularly for pattern design, I've had a real hard time focusing on math and taking notes and doing things precisely. So there hasn't been very much precise crocheting going on. But I did do a test knit because I really needed some time to focus on somebody else's pattern, not my own patterns. I did a couple episodes back where I was just winging stuff because I needed kind of a reset. And I think I'm back in the brain space where I can design again. Talk about that a little bit later on in the whips and design section. But I needed something where I was following somebody else's pattern that was, the pattern test, there's always some room for error, but pretty much pattern that was good to go. and I could focus on that and not have to do any complicated math or thinking. So I can't show it to you in entirety because she asked that we not until it's released. I think it's coming the first week of July. But the Beachcomb Tee, or the crop, depending on which version you're making, by Tiff Nealon Hand Knits, who is a Connecticut knitwear designer. So local to me, I'm in Connecticut. And yeah, she allowed me to test knit this. I am not a super proficient garment knitter. I have made a total of 4 knit garments in the last 12 years, at least adult size ones. I've made baby ones. But yeah, Beachcomb Tee. I'm just going to show you it in little bits and pieces because I think that's allowed. I checked with Tiff and I was like, can I talk about it on the podcast? And she said that I could, and I could show sneak peeks. So I will sneak you some peeks. All right. So it's a t-shirt. And it's got, Tiff Nealon is known for her use of herringbone stitch. Can you see that? Yes. The last podcast I talked about the conundrum that was me figuring out how to do herringbone correctly. If you compare the herringbone on the top to the herringbone on the bottom, I got much better at it. That one's all kind of jacked up looking. I got better at it by the end. I didn't make any modifications to the pattern because I was testing. I'm very pleased with the fit. I believe I made the 3rd size, which was a... Do I have the pattern here? I think I might. I might not have the pattern here. Did I even... Oh, it's over there. Okay. I think I made the 3rd size. It's roughly 20... Or not 20. 36, 38 maybe? Or 38, 40. Like a 37, 38 bust. So something like that. It's got a little bit of positive ease to it. It's got the herringbone on the top and on the bottom, and I learned how to do I-cord as well on the top and the bottom. It's got these little ribbing bits on the sleeves, and the pattern is written to be either a crop or a t-shirt length tee. It fits really well. I took pictures today. I can't show you yet. I will show you when she releases it. I'll bring it up again. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. The yarn that I used was also from a local dyer. And I talked about her in the last podcast, and since then we've talked a lot more. And she's actually new to dyeing from beginning of this year, 2020. So what a year to start a business. But Sassy Black Yarns, I think that's focusing. If I block my face, does it focus better? It changes the color like crazy. In her, I don't know if her bases have names as of yet, but it's a 70% linen, 30% Pima cotton fingering sock weight called Indigo Nights. I'm fairly certain that is focusing. I'm using the front-facing camera on my phone today because I wanted to see what the lighting was doing. So if I use the rear one, I can't see myself at all. So yeah, I used Indigo Nights. The only thing, what did I do with it? I had it all organized. Where'd you go? There you are. The only thing that I did notice, and I don't know if it's because it's her cotton linen base or something about the dye technique, but the yarn did bleed a little bit more than I had expected it to when I blocked it. And my swatch had bled, so I knew it was going to happen. But I made sure I rinsed it really well because I have like white couches and I did not want to bleed purple yarn onto it. So it changed color slightly. I feel like some of the red tones, I feel like that's picking up more drastic than it is, but some of the red tones I think came out. So I don't know if the yarn just had enough dye or I don't really know, but it's beautiful yarn. I'm still very happy with the color. I think I can show you without showing you the whole tee. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera. When I show you the final photos, you'll be able to see better in whatever following episode that'll be. I should have alternated skeins. But I was really having a hard time with the herringbone. I wouldn't have alternated there. But once I conquered that, I was like, I cannot mentally handle anymore. We've already talked about how I'm completely lacking in the crochet focus, or the crocus as I'm calling it now. That's my new word, crocus. Feel free, hashtag lost my crocus. Sounds so ridiculous. But yeah, I was like, I cannot do another skill at this time. So yeah, I was working in the round, should have alternated skeins, but I didn't. And there is definitely a kind of gradient thing. I like the way it worked out because the bottom is got some more variation in it, and then the middle is slightly darker, and then the top was lighter. So it's got some sort of gradient action going on that I wasn't looking to achieve, but at least it came out in a way that like it wasn't lighter in the middle or something weird. So I lucked out there, but I definitely should have been alternating or doing helical knitting or something, but I just couldn't wrap my mind around learning herringbone, learning the I-cord, German short rows I learned how to do. I feel like there was something else that I learned. Knitting with linen and cotton was a whole different beast that I thought I was going to have a handle on, and it turned out to be quite challenging. Not because of this yarn specifically, but just because I had never knit. I don't think I've ever knit with cotton. Definitely had knit with linen, and it was very hard to keep my gauge, especially for the test knit. I needed it to, beat a gauge. So I was having a real hard time with that, and I was like, if I throw in helical or something else, it's going to just push me over the edge. So I had already frogged it several times. So didn't alternate, should have alternated. Alternate your skeins, y'all. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, I gotta put this, you go over here, be on my desk. My office is wild now, especially now that I have this light kit thing going on in here. So that is it for my finished objects. Not very exciting. Reality. Thanks 2020. I feel like we're doing pretty good on time. I say that literally every time, and then we're not. But the lockdown blanket. We can only talk about, I guess we could talk about it every episode, because lockdown goes forever now, I guess. But it's making progress. I'm just going to show you again. There's no particular pattern for this. I will link the one that I thought I was following down below. I followed it wrong. It's by Potter and Bloom. So it's kind of my own messed up thing, but this is where we started. We're like 80, 90 something days in now. Can't see what I'm showing you. Just finished this purple down here, and I should have done another bit today, and I did not. Yeah, the only thing I decided, I think I talked about it last time, is I don't have a lot of purple in my stash. So I was doing like purple indigo and then violet for, Roy G. Biv. But now we're doing Roy G. Vip. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Because, yeah, I'm going to run out of purple yarn if I keep doing this indigo violet action. Nobody really knows what color indigo is anyway. So we're just going to do one block of purple, and I'm going back to red. Which I should probably not, I don't know. It's going to be weird right over that orange and that other red block. Whatever, we're just letting it happen. Lockdown, man. It's wild times. So I was initially worried this blanket was going to be too small, and now I'm worried that I'm going to be able to cover my front lawn in it. Because lockdown, I don't know when I'm going to end it. Talked about this last time. When do you officially end your lockdown projects? When the world goes back to normal? When we stop wearing masks? When COVID's eradicated? I don't know. I'm just going to keep making this blanket at least until I run out of Orochi Biving yarn. So that's that. The only other whip, this is going to be short. The only other whip that I have, that's not true. I have another whip. It's in the design section. The only other whip in this section that I have, sections are new to me, guys, are my rye light socks. Ooh, that looks so pretty on camera. Woo! Look at that. I love that. My rye light socks. It is a free pattern by Tin Can Knits. They have the rye light, which is fingering weight sock yarn. But I believe they also have the regular rye socks. I think they're worsted. They might be DK. I'm pretty sure it's a worsted weight, and it's a really good beginner sock knitting pattern, especially if you're afraid of working with fingering weight yarn. A lot of people have made the worsted weight version. This is the fingering weight version. But if you're looking for a free beginner sock pattern, Tin Can Knits is very thorough in their patterns, and they have them sized from like infant all the way up to whatever the largest sock man size is. A large range of things. Really good instructions, really good pictures. Real good. So Tin Can Knits for the win. But yeah, I'm really loving, just look at how pretty that is. It's got like this, it's not quite garter because you do a knit row and then a purl row, but you're working in the round. There's probably a term for that. Don't know what it is. Think I said that last time. The yarn is absolutely stunning. This main yarn is, find the tag for you. It's called I Could Live in Hope. I had my tags organized too and I messed them up. I Could Live in Hope. I can never tell if that's actually focused or not. I'm sorry guys, it's better with the camera the other way. I Could Live in Hope by Megs & Co. Yarns. Yarns. megsandcoboutique.com. We'll tag her down below. All of her stuff's there. But she's someone who recently tested the Serenity and Shiloh shawl for me, which is out now, by the way. I think last time I recorded it wasn't out. It's out now! I did it! Finally! After frogging it a bajillion times. 216 ends. Because I frogged it so many times. Not how many ends are in the pattern. How many ends I created by redoing it and redoing it and redoing it. So Serenity and Shiloh shawl. I could try and remember to link that too. It's out now. Go get one. But yeah, I Could Live in Hope. That was a weird segue. I just remembered I didn't talk about that. And then the orange contrast is I have more of it, but a one-of-a-kind from Kitty Pryde Fibers, who I am hoping to be doing a shawl design with soon. We'll see. Kitty Pryde Fibers, it was a one-of-a-kind, so I don't know, but she does do custom dyeing as well. And I believe, I don't know if you were familiar, but Chastity was raising funds for building a community dye studio. I feel like she's in the Chicago area, but I could be wrong. But she was building a community dye studio so that dyers who might not be able to dye out of their homes or an apartment or have the money or resources for all the equipment would be able to learn how and dye in a community dye studio. And I believe that she got it fully funded. So that's awesome. Spread that yarn love around, Chastity. I love it. But yeah, she does really beautiful yarn colors, and she also welcomes custom yarn requests, which I feel like I haven't seen a lot of dyers doing that, and I really like that. Even just chatting back and forth with her about a shawl design, she was like, yeah, if you don't see a color you like, let me know. I love doing custom yarn, which as a business that started as doing custom crochet things, well, it's custom crochets, I think that's really cool. Because it's a lot of work to customize something for somebody, but it's so special. So, little plug for Kitty Pryde right there. I've realized now that I could be drinking the seltzer in these breaks that we're cutting. But I know y'all want to see me drink seltzer, so we'll just keep doing that. And then my socks are living in my beloved Cole Mama Creations. Tag, where are you? Cole Mama Creations, another Connecticut local. Makes these beautiful hand-dyed rope cord knitting baskets and purses and all sorts of other wonderful things. You can hang it on a wall. It's marvelous. I love them. I don't often use it with the yarn through it like a true knitting bowl, but I very frequently use it, and it matches my socks. And then this, I don't usually tell you about my bags, but we're talking about it, so I might as well tell you. This is from another Connecticut local, because I love me the Connecticut locals. I think her tag is in here. It's not in here. Oh, yes, it is. Within Creative. Robin of Within Creative. She's on Etsy and Instagram. I will try and remember to link her as well. She makes really good, not knit or crochet specific, but I think she calls them pencil or makeup pouches, but really nice to fit hooks, needles, stitch markers, the like. Throw them in a bag or a cute yarn bowl. Gotta throw some content in this podcast somehow, because I'm flying. Watch, I'll talk about the last thing for hours. Okay. Where is my other? Alright, so this is kind of whips, kind of... should designs be its own segment? Maybe, but we forgot to do a cut, so we're rolling into it now. Designs. By the way, what I am wearing is the Fandeco tee. Business in the front, party in the back. This is in testing right now. It's almost done. It's going to be coming out beginning of July. Stay tuned. I've talked about it before. Just wanted to let you know. Okay, so I think I've shown you the yarn before when I purchased it, maybe, or something. Maybe not. Maybe I talked about it last time. I don't really know. Come here, yarn. What are you doing? Okay. So I purchased, there are 5 of them now, but I had purchased 7 of these skeins of Shibui Pebble. Like, look, this is like the purple yarn of my soul. It's not showing up all that great here, but it's like this, I don't know, I feel like people say like raisiny purple, but raisins aren't purple, so raisins are ugly brown. I don't know, it's just beautiful plummy, but it's got red tones, and it's got like a lighter purple and white like marled through. It is lovely. Shibui makes, lovely fancy. I picked the one without the tag on. Goodness. Okay. So it's Shibui Pebble. It is a 48% recycled silk. Fancy. 36% fine merino. Fancy. 16% cashmere. Fancy, fancy. And I had gotten this at my local yarn store, or one of them. It's the color velvet, by the way, not raisin purple or whatever nonsense I said. But I had gotten it at my local yarn store. They already had it at a good price, but twice a year they do a 50% off. Like if you fill a bag, you get 50% off everything sale. So I bought out the entire stock that they had, which was only 7 skeins. And looking at these, I had gone in with my mom. I was not planning on buying yarn, but it was lovely. And I think it was the first time I had gone yarn shopping without my daughter in tow, which was a lot easier than trying to keep a baby toddler out of yarn. So I got excited and I bought some yarn. And I wanted to design with it. And looking at it in the store and making impulse decisions, which I am terrible at. In my mind, these were 50-gram skeins. In my mind, somehow 7 of them were going to be enough for a sweater. In my mind, they were also fingering weight. My mind was very wrong. So as it turns out, they're listed as light fingering, but does it even say on here? Okay, so no, it doesn't say on here that it's fingering. I looked it up later. It had the gauge, but I don't know yarn gauges off the top of my head. Do you? Can you even see that? Probably not, but the gauge was like 25 stitches is 4 inches in knitting. That didn't translate to anything for me. So I bought all 7 skeins, and I was like, I'll be able to make something out of it. It was a really good price for Shibui. I think it was already like $4 or so cheaper than I had seen it elsewhere, and it was 50% off. So, great deal. I really, really wanted to make an oversized, boxy, to the tune of Joji Locatelli's Boxy, which is a knit pattern, but like oversized by like 20 inches. I'm dropping the Shibui on the ground now. Forgive me, Shibui, I'm putting you over there. I really wanted to make a very oversized. Maybe only in like a couple size ranges, like extra small to medium, large, whatever. Just boxy, roomy, cozy, tight sleeves, 3/4 length, a little bit of detail. I had it all like swatched up. I had a plan, sort of, but in order to calculate the yardage, because looking at it, I was like, oh no, I realized that these are not 50-gram skeins. They are 25-gram skeins, which is like slightly larger than a mini. And then when I looked it up, it said light fingering, which to me, I would consider like that Kitty Pride fiber yarn to be a light fingering weight. It's a little bit thinner than what I'm used to, but it's definitely still within the range of whatever reps per inch is for fingering weight yarn. But when I got it home, sat down, calculated it, swatched, if there were 224 yards to 25 grams, that was, let me read the math I did so I don't make up numbers. Where is my math? Math, where are you? I did this out somewhere, I swear. Okay, never mind. Basically, I ended up with, oh goodness. I really thought I had this laid out better in these notes to convey to you. Basically, I thought I had enough yarn to make a sweater. I knew it probably wasn't going to be enough for the boxy, but I was like, whatever, I'll order some more Shibui online. I'll pay full price, whatever. Because I had this really nice, it's not going to show up great. Can you see, whoop, can you see the detail down the middle? Boxy with like this fun, that is just terrible. Fun Brady looking detail thing up the center. Seemed like a really great idea. But then when I realized that I only had 25-gram skeins and the yardage that translated to, as it turns out, this is more of a lace weight yarn because there was 800 something, whatever 224 times 4 is. Close to 900, right? Yards per 100 grams. That is not at all a fingering weight. That is a lace weight. It is a lacy lace weight. So yeah, it's itty bitty yarn. I don't know why I didn't notice that in the store, because I know stuff about yarn. But yeah. So I was essentially going to try to crochet a massive oversized boxy sweater out of a lace weight yarn, which would already have been an insane mission. But then when I did the math out, because I was like, I need to get more yarn, did the math for the measurements roughly on how many skeins I would need, 18.4. So 19 skeins. 19 skeins. I had 7 skeins. And I was like, ooh, that's pricey yarn. Yeah, it would have been roughly $400. I had paid 50% off for the first, so it would have been slightly less, but for a normal person to go out and buy to make a size extra small through medium or whatever range I was going to do, a size that fit me, $400, not including the time and the effort and any other materials, that's insane. And it would have been 4,121 yards. My math might be wrong somewhere, but that's a lot of yardage based on my normal formula that I use to calculate. So no, the shibui is not going to be a sweater anymore. And then like after that, I calculated like, okay, so what if I do like a fitted, like the way this fits, Fandeco, this isn't fitted, but slightly less oversized, not boxy, not long sleeve. What if I do a t-shirt? No, that still would have been like 2,900 yards for a size medium, which is a lot for a relatively not so very large sweater, and a lot of money. So we rethought that. So what was going to be my boxy, let me put this back over here. What was going to be my boxy is now somehow magically became a shawl. So I was thinking to use this beautiful yarn for something, and yeah, it became a shawl. So we went back to the drawing board, and I really liked the same kind of motif. And I got super frustrated. I think Sunday night was when I was doing the math. And I just started fooling around with shawl stuff. Really didn't have much of a plan. And we ended up with this really cool, ooh, it's not showing up great. Hang on. First of all, I'm pulling out my stitches. Where are you attached to? Oh, you're just in the middle of a row, Bella? Cool. Good call. You do this for a living. Okay. When it blocks out, it's going to have... Oh, I wish I had more hands to show you. Okay, fine. Nope. Okay, well, it's going to be wing-shaped, like bat wing shaped, because these bits are going to spoink out. Spoink is a technical term. Yeah, maybe. All right, I promise I'll show you more as we get somewhere. But it's got the same, you can barely see because it's lacy and you can see through it. I think you can kind of see. There we go. You can see that it's got like this braid detail coming out through it. This is obviously not the whole shawl. It is a work in progress. It is doing terrible things to the color of this video. But it's going to be, wouldn't call it crescent. Is it going to be crescent shaped? I don't know. It's going to keep being this shape, but larger. Not going to be a pie shawl. I don't know. I've only ever made triangle shawls, asymmetrical, bandana style. End to end, I've only made triangle shawls. My patterns, other people's patterns, only made triangle shawls. So I'm going to have to research what this shape is called. Somebody let me know. But I feel like it looks like a bat wing, and it's really cool. I know 2020 is kind of mad at bats. Are we still mad at bats? I don't know. I can't keep up. But, yeah. It's going to be really cool. It is going to be lace weight, obviously, but I am using this gorgeous yarn for something. And it is with a very large, in comparison to the lace weight yarn hook size. So it's going to be nice and opy. Woo! Open. Oh my. This is going great. Open and drapey. Opy. Open and drapey once I block it, even more so. And yeah, it's going to be hopefully a really good fit over my shoulders. I'm not going to wear it in the front like this. So, I mean, I might. I don't know. We're going to have to see. It's kind of just becoming its own thing. I'm taking notes as we go, and I'll keep you posted on if this becomes a thing or not. But it's super repetitive once you get the stitch motif down. I think I'll probably do charts for it and written, because I do that now, guys. But I just love it. It's got like this fun gothic feel to it. So this is going to be a shawl made out of Fancy Pants Shibuya yarn. You don't have to use the Fancy Pants Shibuya yarn. You can substitute in a lace weight. You could probably do it straight up mohair if you wanted. Mohair makes me sneeze, so I'm not using that. I really do want to try Surrey alpaca. Haven't tried that yet. But we're using this yarn because we have this yarn and it's beautiful. I pondered destashing it and it hurt my heart because it's so beautiful. So it is happening. But yeah, lace weight of some kind. I might do a modification in the pattern for actual fingering weight or light fingering weight yarn. It's a shawl. I haven't decided if I'm going to put a bottom edge on it yet, which would tweak the math. Because if you just keep doing this, I could just say, do it until you like the size of it, until you're happy, because it's a shawl. Make it to fit you. But if I put edging on it, there has to be some math in there as far as how many rows. So we'll see. But this has been a really refreshing, after I got really mad at the sweater and had been frustrated for probably since I got the Fandeco done, like a month or so, that I had been mad at design. Not mad, but just so frustrated that I couldn't wrap my brain around anything. This was really refreshing to actually design something. Was not planning on making a lace weight shawl this week, but that's what we're doing now. So, hooray. Dropping my stuff on the floor. So stay tuned. I did actually swatch, because I still want that boxy thing to be a thing. I did swatch. I used the Kitty Pride yarn, that same orange, to swatch, but I had been contacted by another dyer who was interested in doing yarn support, so I needed to do some swatching in a similar yarn weight and color just to... I have two. I haven't decided on a hook size yet, but there will hopefully be a super boxy sweater coming sometime in the fall. We'll see. It is going to be fingering weight, so it is going to be a lot of work and a lot of yarn. But come on, crocheters, we got to step up our game. We can use the fingering weight too. So that got to get in contact with the dyer and chat with her about. But I'll let you know as that happens. I hope it doesn't annoy you guys that I talk about my design process. I know a lot of people keep that on the down low until the design is finalized or until they release it or whatever. I'm not one to keep that kind of secrets from you. And I like having it to talk about, and I like making it known that the process is messy. Design can be very messy. There are some designs that, not design themselves, but there are some that just happen and they're magical. But there are some that you have to frog 87 times, like the Serenity and Shiloh shawl, to make it happen. And you're gritting your teeth the whole way, but you want it to exist. So I like to talk about the process and the frustration and the glory. So yes, that is my design segment. Alright, so the last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is I don't like I can't even say it, stash positions. I don't like stash enhancements, because that sounds like you gave your stash some botox or something. And I don't know what else to call it, so I'm going to call it the acquirings, the things with which I have acquired. A couple things to show you. This one I've been holding on to for a little bit because I wanted to share it with you, and I don't quite know what to do with it. I don't usually impulse buy. I've said that twice now about impulse things that I have shown you in this podcast. Not one impulse buy, but when Fiber for the People has a shop update, and she is featuring Lucky Strikes, which are her one-of-a-kind, non-repeatable colorways that she makes out of like dye particles that she like washes off of her spoons and wipes off of her counters because she doesn't like to waste anything. Yeah, that Taylor, she is a fabulous lady. But yeah, this is a Fiber for the People Lucky Strike. So when she does them in the shop update, she's just going to be like, there are Lucky Strikes coming, and you have no idea what they are or what base they're on, or yeah, you can't prepare, and it's really stressful. It stresses me out real bad. But this is the color Lily Pad. Really beautiful. I had a couple other Lucky Strikes in my cart, but y'all are savages. Cutthroat savages, and they got stolen from me, so sad about that. But this one is her MCN base, so 80 superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, fingering weight, and Lily Pad, I think I said was the colorway. Really, really pretty green. Leaning towards socks with it, because that's kind of what I always do with one-of-a-kind skeins. But I might have to come up with something else if you have suggestions. I feel like I've maxed out my one skein Wonder Cowl capacity for my own wardrobe. I only need so many hand-dyed yarn cowls. It's a great pattern. It's mine. I love it. But I can only make myself so many cowls of the same pattern. So maybe I'll have to design a new pattern, or maybe it'll be socks. Do I want solid green socks? That'll be grinchy. I don't know. I love them. I love Taylor's yarn in general. She is the bestest. And she sends, I had it in here somewhere, but it all falls down the basket. She sends tea with all of her packages, and that's delightful. She's currently in the process of moving, so I don't know when her next shop update is, but it's been a while since she's done one, so hopefully I'll be coming at you soon if you are not yet familiar with the Tailor of Fiber for the People. Also my favorite podcast. She's just my favorite, and I'll say it before and I'll say it again. Okay, a couple other things. These aren't actually for my own stash, but I have acquired them, so I might as well show you. We were talking about the purple yarn for the beachcomb tee from Sassy Black Yarns, the local to me dyer. And she's like really local to me, which is really cool. But we had been talking, look at those. These are not for my stash, because these are not my colors, but oh my goodness, look at them. Look at them, guys. She had reached out to me because she's going to be having some of her yarns in what I would consider to be my local yarn store. It's not the closest to me, but it is the yarn store of my heart. U Fiber Arts. U like a sheep and you like a person. I think it's just called U and U. U Fiber Arts for Life, I think, on Instagram. I'll tag them. I got a lot of tag this time. But yeah, she's going to be having her yarns in my favorite local yarn shop, so that's really exciting, and she's a new dyer, so that's awesome for her. But she had reached out because she was looking for some crochet samples, because, you know, crochet-friendly dyers are a thing. So we had talked back and forth about getting her some swatches made, and also she's going to be sending me yarn for a cowl as well, to do a One Skein Wonder cowl. But she wanted these swatched up. She's still working on finalizing her line, I think, as far as which bases she's going to carry and which yarns. That's making my face look crazy. But this one here, these are just going to turn into swatches, and I'm going to send her back the excess. But this is her 70/30 superwash merino and nylon fingering weight, and this color is called Jamberry. I don't want to take the ball band off because I got to take pictures of it. But look at, ooh, I didn't even see that color in there. I like that one. So some blues and some purples. I'm just going to make basic little swatches so she can bring them with her to other yarn shops and shows if anybody ever does shows ever again. And I think to put on her website as well. This one is a party. This one's called Island Dreams. This is her 75/25 superwash and nylon fingering weight. It's got this fun little bit in here I really like. I'm really interested to see how this swatches up because these are some bright colors. Look at that. Whew, that is some bright yellow. So swatch this up. I'll show you guys the swatches either, maybe just some pictures on Instagram. I don't know. Stay tuned. They're coming. And then this is 100% cotton base, right? Yep, 100% organic cotton, which I like. Fingering weight again, and this one is called The Other Bumblebee, I think is what that says. The Other Bumblebee, right? Looks like there's maybe, I don't know. The Other Bumblebee, I think is what that says. That's just it's a nice grello. I do really like this one for myself, but I'm not keeping them. And then she is going to send me one more surprise yarn for the One Skein Wonder cowl that she wants to have as a sample. So I love that I'm working with a local dyer. I love that my local yarn shop is now working with another local dyer. And I love that she wants to have crochet represented. All of the things. All the things that I'm talking about. So, really cool. Those will be coming. And then the only other thing I wanted to show you, again, episode's going to be spot on length, same every time. I got to stop saying it's going to be shorter. My grandma is planning on moving, and she had a tag sale, and I don't know if I'm going to make anything out of these, but she had a free pile of, she's the one who taught me how to crochet and knit and most things crafty. No, my mom did, but she taught my mom. So she had a free pile of vintage crochet and knit and crafty things that she has accumulated over time. She is a tag saley lady, so I don't know where these all came from, but some of them just for the nostalgia's sake, I like to have them sometimes. Like some things I am for sure not, like I am not making pom-pom Christmas yarn, snowmen, elves, whatever those are. Not making those. But some of them are really fabulous. Like, look at this. I know everybody who watches This Is Us was like making Rebecca's Granny Square cardigan a couple, like when that episode released. But these are terrifying. Like, that is nightmares. 2020 doesn't need any of that. We have enough nightmares. And this looks like a lot of work. Puritan bedspread. Whew. Yeah, my lockdown blanket pales in comparison. And then some stuff about tatting. This one, like, I love that this book is called You Asked for These. Who? Who is it yelling at? I love it. It's great. I kind of really like this power suit that's crocheted. Is it crochet? Yeah. It's pretty. The motif suit. A doily, a fancy pants tablecloth, terrifying Christmas ornaments, a really whatever that is, Afghan. That like could be kind of fun. I don't know if I'd make it in different colors, but in a solid color. Kind of think it's fun. I don't know. I like the vintage ones. Sometimes I have a hard time understanding them, but I think they're fun. And then this one is Knit and Crochet for Babies and Children. And it was originally 25 cents, which is less than the price of one pattern now. Look at this baby. Look at this baby living its best baby life as a baby blanket gnome. Look at his children. They're like, yeah, we wear knitted stuff. I love it. I love it so much. Why are they making these faces? So there was something in here that I thought was cute. What sport are they playing? Is this a sport? Are they going to beat each other with these? What is this? Oh my goodness. Is it shuffleboard? Is that what that is? Are your shuffleboard outfits? Do 6-year-olds play shuffleboard? Oh my goodness. And then this. I am 99.9% sure that these mittens are attached to this sweater. I could read the pattern and tell you for sure, but it looks like they're fold over sweater with mittens, so your lousy kittens don't lose their mittens. So that's funny. This girl's haircut is commendable. Yeah. A lot of these are falling apart, but... Oh, I like this one. I thought that one was cute. I think that I could attempt making. And some looks like it's worsted weight, maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to make these out of crunchy old acrylic, but... Yeah, they're kind of cute, some of them. It's nostalgic, and I couldn't let my grandmother give them away to strangers. So I took them. There's 2 more. Look! What if I make Jojo this sweater? Jojo, do you want this sweater? Look how happy you would be. This is Bernat Fashioned for Men? Not fashion for men, fashioned for men. Ooh. Look at how happy these stars are. I kind of like this cabled one for myself. Where is it? That one. Look at these stars in their sweaters. I don't think Jojo would wear a sweater if I made him a sweater. This guy's like, it has pockets. This is going to be the highlight of the podcast, I know. He is modeling his pockets in every photo, don't you worry. I feel like this would be miserable to read, but... This sir has pockets and he's not even utilizing them. I think it's all the same guy, too. Are you the same guy? You're not the same guy. Well, they clearly have their, brown hair. Are you the same guy? Okay, it's the same guy. I feel like this guy in the back is a different guy. The guy's the angular-faced white guy with brown hair. You can't be the same guy because there's 2 of you here. You brothers? Sweater model brothers? I don't know. I'm probably not making any of those. I just found that one laughable. And then this one is special baby outfits. For the special babies in your life. It doesn't say that. I added that part. I don't think I liked any of these, but I took it anyway. These little knee-high booty things, those are pretty nifty. stuff, guys. And they were small and flat and not heavy, so I didn't... Oh, this is actually kind of pretty. Is there a picture of this? No, there's not. There's not good pictures of this one. This little angel top is kind of sweet. I guess that's what she's wearing on the front. Maybe it's not that cute. I'm not sure. But anyway, so those were fun. This one is from... Does it have a year? 1992. I was 1. Somebody could have made me this. That's probably why my grandma had it. I was the first grandbaby. She probably wanted to make something for a special baby in her life. This one, the men's one, accessories courtesy of L.L. Bean. This one's from 1984. We weren't born. I mean, my husband and I. You might have been born. I don't know your life. 1953 is this one. So these very well. I don't know how long she's owned all of these, but these could have been for my family members. Somebody could have had that. 1953 is a little early for, I don't know, maybe she was preemptively getting ready to have some children. I don't know. And then this one with the terrifying demon snowman puffs is American Thread was from Connecticut. You know, love me some local. I don't think this one has a year on it. Does it really matter? No, it does not. This one doesn't, but this one looks like it's 50s-ish, 60s. It looks like some 60s hair. 60s-ish. I don't know. I like them. I'm going to add them to my tiny little book stash. Angling my arms. Woo! Back there. It's back there. Whoop, whoop. Okay, we're done. So I guess we'll wrap up here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, you can like this video. Hit like on this video. I mess that up every time. Subscribe if you'd like more of this content. I do a every other-ish week podcast, as well as some tutorials and just other resources that I think would be helpful to you. Pattern drops for my patterns. But stick around. You'll figure out what I'm about. Thank you for being here, like I said, and if you want to check out that crochet-friendly dyer information gathering sheet and drop some of your favorites there, I would really appreciate that, because I want to get that resource out to you guys as soon as possible and maybe do a fun little crochet along because you're all my crochet friends. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Thank you for supporting this fiber journey of mine, and thank you for coming back. I'm really excited that this community family there's more of you guys. It's growing, and I'm really excited about that. Thank you for supporting me, and yeah, I will talk to you guys hopefully in a couple of weeks, hopefully with some more crochet content. Hopefully that shawl the pattern won't be finished, but hopefully the shawl itself will be finished. I can show you that, and I think we'll still be in lockdown in 2 weeks, so we'll have more lockdown blanket, and who knows what else I'll come up with by then. So thank you for being here for the 17th time, and I will talk to you guys in a couple weeks. Until then, happy making, my friends. Bye.